I'm here today with Andy McGovern of Unite for Truth. Andy, I understand that your grassroots activism has now had a response from Police Scotland. Can you tell us what has happened?
Aye, David, last week we were at an event at the Glasgow Green. We had a gathering there as part of the worldwide Freedom Days that a lot of people were experiencing. And we started with the procession, and we were trying to go through the city, but there was a route laid out, and it was taking us away down by the river, and the police were facilitating this, so there was a lot of tension throughout between the crowd and where it was being led. The idea was if we were to move through Glasgow city centre, Buchanan Street, Circuit Hall Street on a Saturday afternoon, then we would achieve far greater impacts. It'd be much more visible, the message would get out. We've got leaflets to hand information to people, to raise awareness and make people aware that there is a growing portion of the population that are questioning this narrative and are prepared to speak out about it. So I was being asked on the way down to the BBC with certain members, what's happening, Andy, but I hadn't in fact organised this event. But I had an opportunity when I had the mic to speak with the crowd and ask them how they felt about the route that was taken. So a lot of angst was expressed, and the reason for that was, as I've said, less impact. So I articulated to the crowd we would go back through Glasgow and we'd go through the busier streets. From that point, that's when the police attention started. As we were walking, the police were skidding in the van, and with the megaphone out the window, were advising people that they would be arrested if they continued to walk peacefully through the streets of their own city.
Arrested on what basis? What would be the charge? Walking up Sauchiehall Street without a permit?
Without permission, yeah, exactly. And people were walking on the pavement. It was very respectful. The atmosphere was great. There was even some music. The vibe was very high. Nothing aggressive, nothing confrontational. So that continued until the crowd dissipated. That was on the Saturday, David, and then on the Monday, I was staying with my girlfriend, and I woke up to a series of phone calls that I'd missed and text messages, the last of which read that the police had been in my house that morning, about 6:30, 6:45, had woken up my younger brother, who I'm currently sharing a flat with, and had come into the flat and were looking around the flat for myself.
So they did an early morning raid. You walked up Sauchiehall Street, and they did an early morning raid.
With that, I think it was Phil, David, that I played a part in the direction to the crowd, and that meant they were there in the morning with my brother. They were impressing upon my brother the need to give me up and to find out where I was. My brother wasn't giving them that. They then went down to my mum and dad's house in Chapter Joa about 6:45 at my mum and dad's, and my mum and dad woke up bleary-eyed to 3 policemen at the door. There had been 5 police vans outside my flat. So my mum and dad were upset. My dad slightly more confused, my mum more angry, and again trying to impress upon my parents to give me up and find out where I was and to help them. And if they didn't, then the next move would be going to my employers and showing up there. Now, in my own job role in the summer, working for a charity and a youth work organisation, very busy at this time of year. We've got all the children off school, and that was an incredibly busy morning. So that wasn't pursued with, because at that point I received a phone call about 8 a.m. in the morning that it was the police and that they wanted to have a chat with me, and that I had to go to the police station in London Road immediately. I asked what it was about, and they said that it was about the weekend. I said, what about the weekend? They said, we'll let you know when we chat with you. So that was
okay.
the morning.
So just to be clear, this was a peaceful march. There was no violence. Is that correct?
That's correct. Very peaceful march.
Any property damage?
None at all.
None at all. So peaceful march, no property damage. For those who don't know, Glasgow, the main city centre streets are pedestrianised anyway, so there is no traffic in Buchanan Street and the main part of Sauchiehall Street now. Um, did you obstruct traffic? Did you disrupt people's day?
Not at all. Not at all. We were there walking down the street, and the pace of it was quite slow because there's a lot of different kinds of people. There's an entire demographic which is marching together. As we said, we had music, and what we found was the reception that we got for the people in Glasgow was actually fantastic in many instances. A lot of people cheering, many people taking leaflets, which was fantastic to see that, to see you're handing out. All the placards indicate what you're all about, and people are still prepared to take information. People wearing masks as well at busy shops. So the fact that we were able to achieve that, the crowd in no way was repulsed by us. The crowd saw it visibly attractive, and attractive to the extent that they would take information from us. So that was fantastic. And if anything, I would say that procession lifted the spirits of Glasgow City Centre, which is quite a depressing place these days.
Okay, so the police aren't saying exactly what. There was no crime, but the police want to talk to you. This early morning, round to your mother's, your father's, threatening to go to your employer. This all seems very oppressive. This seems very threatening for someone who's involved in a peaceful, legitimate, grassroots protest.
Yeah.
I find this very worrying. This suggests to me that if you don't buy the government narrative as a single source of truth, you are somehow now being criminalised. Is that? Am I wrong to see it that way?
No, without a doubt, David. I've never been in this position before when the police are phoning, and I'm having to have conversations like this. So it's entirely new to me, and I feeling like a criminal. Not at all. I don't feel that way in my heart, but there are moments when it's all kind of happening, when you realise that the police are looking for you and that they're down inside your mum and dad's home, and then potentially going to your work. It felt like intimidation, but I felt surprisingly calm on the morning. Even after the police were on the phone again, and when I'd asked them for dates, they asked me to come in on Friday evening. And the concern was expressed by a number of people, including the lawyer that I was speaking with, that to go there on a Friday evening would result in being kept in over the weekend. So they're pushing for Friday 7 p.m. Very hard. And again, that they'll know that I'll know that, but that doesn't matter. It's very much about making a statement that if you do speak with a crowd, or you do activities, grassroots, which are spontaneous and organic in the moment, they're terrified of that, because if that happens and things begin to spark, the narrative needs to be controlled, and in order for that to be controlled, people have to be controlled, and when you try and step out that, this is what you experience.
Well, this Friday evening, Friday 7 p.m. is the date they need to see you. Is bizarre. I mean, it does on the surface look like a setup, because if you're then put in a cell, there are no courts until the Monday morning. There's no way of acting to re-establish the law, so they have a weekend to do as they choose. What would that be? A lesson? Are we talking about an organisation that's not interested in the law but is interested in social control, and if you're not socially controlled, we'll teach you? That this all makes me very uneasy. It sounds like an organisation no longer upholding the law.
Yeah, that's certainly what it felt like in the morning. It felt, I suppose a lot of us have felt this in the last 18 months, David, where you're unsure of the type of society that you're actually living in anymore. And I think we all felt that from March of last year. But when you're experiencing it for yourself, it becomes very upfront and personal. I do understand that this has happened to other people before, different cities throughout the UK since March, people involved in the Scottish movement before myself. This isn't anything that's particular to me. It's if you stand up as an individual and you're prepared to stand in your truth and speak out, you are going to attract this type of attention. So I think it's important to articulate this and communicate this, because this entire situation is coming to everyone's front door. Everyone's front door. And it came to mine on Monday morning.
What's your immediate plans then for the next few days?
I'm going to continue, David, to live my life as a free man. Having spoken with the lawyer and having heard the reasoning from the police as to why that's the only time and date.
So what is the reason?
Allegedly because of police rotas, and one of the sergeants is actually going on annual leave.
So holidays and police rotas means 7 p.m. on a Friday evening is the only time Police Scotland have got any resources. They're spread just that thin, are they?
Well, they'll be busy. They'll be busy, I'm sure. But I articulated to the lawyer that if this individual was unable to cancel his annual leave, then I'd be unable to cancel my own commitments, which I think is reasonable, to say the least. So I'll carry on, David. We've got an event in Glasgow organised for Glasgow Green. This is a debut event which will carry on each Saturday and make the Green a dynamic, fresh space for people in Glasgow to come. So we're going to gather there as we intended to, and we're going to do exactly like we did at the rally. We're going to gather peacefully as human beings and talk about things which concern us, and then put strategies in place, because that's what human beings do. We're going to continue to do that.
Well, Andy, thank you very much. I wish you well at the weekend. I hope you continue to breathe the free air. And after you've had your chat with Police Scotland, I hope you'll join us again and give us an update. Tell us exactly what they had to say, and whether you were threatened, and whether you felt that you were dealing with an organisation dedicated to upholding the law, or whether you felt you were seeing something else.
No, I'd appreciate coming back on, David, and thanks for the opportunity.
Andy, thank you very much.
Thank you.